They can't fight effectively, they're trapped. But then Hannibal's army has to kill them, and that's when the grim part of Cannae begins.
What followed was a massacre. Rome's army was to all intents and purposes annihilated. But what makes this particularly terrifying is this isn't mechanized fighting. This is all done hand to hand.
Most close combat at Cannae is fought using this kind of weapon, a short sword, which can be used not just for slashing at an enemy, but also for stabbing. You can hunch in against an enemy and stab at them with the sword. You're not restricted by having men close to you. This is a falcata. It's a slashing sword. It's a natural chopping action for the sword, but also, if you hack at an enemy, and even as you draw it away, you're going to cut even deeper as you do so. You're slicing great chunks of flesh away with it. It won't kill people, but it will immobilize them and leave them slowly and painfully bleeding to death on the field. This is the pilum. It's the basic throwing weapon of the Roman infantry. It's got a heavy head which punches through the shield, and then the narrow shaft is carried by the weight behind it. Even if the shield held this far away from the body, it's capable of going through the shield and carrying on to actually kill the man behind. It can actually transfix the shield onto his body. So the shield itself is useless as a defense against it. These people aren't being killed with neat little bullet holes, even relatively neat kind of stab wounds from spears. They're being hacked down by thick, broad-bladed swords. People are even having limbs removed. You've got innumerable mutilated corpses lying on the battlefield, and all of them just pouring their blood out onto the ground. Even if the average person or horse lost, 2 pints of blood on that ground, that's 100,000 pints of blood spilt onto the soil of Cannae.
Cannae remains one of the bloodiest battles ever fought. It's estimated that Rome lost more than 50,000 men, the largest loss of life in any single day, before or since.
Even today, military historians and a lot of professional soldiers are still fascinated, almost obsessed by the Battle of Cannae. And it's held up as the example of the most complete tactical victory. They'll talk in terms of perfect double envelopment and all this sort of thing.
So complete was this victory that Hannibal's tactics are still taught in military academies, more than 2,000 years later.